Roads? It's the Ernest Hancock Show. Where we're going, there aren't any roads.
Yeah, what's that mission here on Declare Your Independence? With me, Ernest Hancock, here each and every day on LRN.FM radio here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the beautiful studios of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com. Also, our special edition wallet voting, walletvoting.com, where we use silver. You know, 90% silver coins U.S. minted since, 1964 and earlier. They're already there. We've been promoting this as an alternative. You'll like this, Bob. I have my special guest. I have Bob Templeton. He's owner of Crossroads of the West. And I want to share this with you. I just got a call right before the show from Senator Karen Johnson. I don't know if you know who Senator Karen Johnson is. She is a former senator here in Arizona, very popular. And years ago, we wrote legislation that, kind of secret. We didn't want, the bad guys to know libertarians had anything to do with it. But what we did is our centennial is coming up. It's 100 years of Arizona being a state. And we put in legislation that we would create a .999 gold medallion commemorative coin up to 1 ounce. So you have multiple different denominations in sufficient quantity to supply public demand. Well, that's coming up. And she called and said she just got a call from the Secretary of State yesterday, and they're like, yeah, we're getting ready to do this, but we're not sure we can afford the gold. Would you support us making them out of silver? So this is going to be a way that the states can start, just kind of extricating themselves from the man. Well, one of the other ways is that we just have a philosophical understanding of what it is that the government's supposed to be doing, defense of individual rights. And one of the advocates for that has become a big admirer of yours of late here is Mark Victor. He's a criminal defense attorney. He's going to have a table down at the gun show. And he said that you guys crossed paths at the last gun show because he gave a speech or something. You tell me what he was talking about?
Yeah, it was really great. Mark is, of course, a very high-profile criminal defense attorney, and one of us, a true believer, and he volunteered to do a little talk on know your rights with regard to gun rights and other constitutional rights. And so we set up a little stage and gave him a platform, and we thought probably it'd be a 20 to 30 minute program, but people started coming in and sitting down, and pretty soon they filled up all the seating we had available, and they started standing, and soon he had a huge crowd. And we started out talking about individual rights, gun rights, and so forth. And he was very open in terms of the question and answer portion of the thing, which he opened up after 20 or 30 minutes. And it just flowed. I mean, 3 hours later, people were still asking him questions, and it was just an exciting time because we hadn't seen any kind of audience involvement with any of our guest speakers on prior occasions, like we saw with Mark Victor. He really captured the crowd and held them.
Truth has that impact. I mean, and I know Mark, man, he was speaking the truth. And we have our freedom summits every year. And the last 2 years, we had them when you have the biggest gun show on the planet is like, what do you call it? It's the same weekend, but then we get a lot of participants that come from out of the state that participate too. But we get a lot of complaints. Why are you having the freedom summit when Bob's having the biggest gun show here? But tell us about that gun show. It's a small arms review. What does that mean?
Well, Small Arms Review is a magazine based in Las Vegas and in Maine that publishes information about military and small arms weapons from throughout the world, historical and contemporary, and very popular with gun enthusiasts, particularly with those who collect full automatic weapons. And so we had a full building here in December, which we have had every year for the last 10 years, of Small Arms Review magazine folks, which was just full of military firearms and full automatic firearms from around the world, historical and contemporary, and drew a huge crowd. And that's, again, every first weekend in December, and we're pleased to partner with them for that show. But it was a great show. We had huge crowds.
Oh, it's always a great show. I enjoy going because the gun shows are more than just about guns and supplies and for guns and ammo and that kind of thing. You know, tell us about some of the other vendors. I mean, it varies why. I tell you one of the reasons why I go on a regular basis is that there's a lot of medical supplies. There's a lot of like little machining things and stuff for my Dremel and some working tools and food and freeze-dried whatever and survival camping gear and Army surplus of what. I mean, tell us about some of the most popular items there other than guns and ammo.
Well, of course, the guns and ammo form the basis for the show, but a lot of people who are interested in gun ownership and guns have a lot of other interests too. And you mentioned freeze-dried foods and food storage, and that's a big factor here at the show. We have several dealers who offer food storage programs or individual items for food storage. A lot of first aid kits, all the way from basic $7 or $8 kits, all the way up to level 4 trauma kits available for sale here. One of the items that's been popular recently is the, I guess it's not correctly named as bulletproof vest, but the body armor has been very popular lately. We have a lot of fellows that come that are in law enforcement that for one reason or another haven't been able to get the right kind of body armor from their departments, and so we have vendors here who have high-grade military-grade body armor for sale here, and that's been popular. We have a lot of books. We have a lot of military surplus clothing and other kinds of things, survival gear.
You know what? I tell you, one of the for the audience, one of the things that I bought, I don't know, a couple of gun shows ago, was Soviet-made flare pistols, and it was a full kit, and it was, I don't know, it was like $50, $60 or something, and you could buy different kind of ammo. You know, it's nice to have a flare pistol because I have a boat that you go way back in these lakes somewhere. You know what? I need a flare pistol. So, you know, that was of use. Now, one of the other things I want to talk about, I'm looking at your schedule here. You got this weekend, January 22nd and 23rd, Arizona Fairgrounds here in Arizona. Then next month, February, you're back in Phoenix at the Fairgrounds again on the 19th and 20th. The following weekend in Mesa. Then you go to Reno and so on. The following month, you're back here in March in Arizona at the University of Phoenix Stadium where the Cardinals play. You're in Tucson. I mean, you're like here every month, man.
Yeah, Arizona's a very... Arizonans are very much into gun rights and in owning and lawfully using firearms, as you know from your experience here. It's just a very gun-friendly state.
Well, we helped make it that way. I mean, we've been pushing on this for 2 decades going, heck no, this is about freedom. So we changed a culture that created it. You know, give me a percentage, man. You know, no. I tell you what Bob does. Bob has been very kind to us and allows us to, you know, we go in at the entrance or up against the fence or out of the way somewhere, and we get to have our little gypsy booth and just advocate for freedom. And he's been very generous in doing that, way more than we ever expect. Thank you, Bob.
Well, we're glad to do it, but as you reminded us here a few minutes ago, you were instrumental in the fight to establish concealed carry rights in Arizona, and you've been instrumental with your group in making sure that the government doesn't usurp our fundamental rights. The same movement has taken place in a lot of different states in the country. In Utah, where I come from, we have had similar kinds of turns in the attitudes of people and toward guns. And Utah and Arizona and many, many other states are very pro-gun states now, and the freedoms that we enjoy are not freedoms that some of the people in the liberal media or the politicians who attempt to politicize tragic or sensational firearms do.
You know, Bob, it's been great having you on again, and I appreciate all that you do by just having such a high-quality event. It's very, very pleasant. It's well organized. You're not standing in lines any longer, but it's very popular. Give me us a number. How many thousands of people go through that on a busy weekend?
Well, typically we'll have 12,000 people come through on a Saturday and Sunday, and we're open tomorrow, 9 to 5.
9 to 5, up to 12,000 people. That's a lot of people. We're going to be out there advocating for freedom. Thanks to Bob Templeton for taking time out on a busy day while they're setting up out there, Crossroads of the West at the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum Fairgrounds. We'll talk to you Monday.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.